You've probably heard the trivia before. Daddy longlegs are the most venomous creatures on Earth, but their fangs are simply too short to bite you. I repeated that exact story to people for years, but it turns out almost every single part of it is completely fabricated. Here is the problem entomologists run into whenever this myth comes up. The daddy longlegs isn't actually a specific animal. It's a colloquial nickname that people incorrectly apply to at least 3 completely different creatures. And out of those 3 different creatures, only one of them is technically even a spider. To understand the truth, we have to stop looking at an imaginary, generalized monster and examine the 3 specific, scientifically verifiable animals people are actually pointing at. The first animal grouped under this nickname is the cranefly. This is a mosquito-sized winged insect with long, dangling legs that you usually see hovering around porch lights. Despite looking a bit intimidating, most adult craneflies lack functioning mouthparts altogether. Biting a human is physically impossible for them. The second, and arguably most common subject of this myth, is the Harvestman. This is the classic creature with a small, round body resting on stilt-like legs that you typically find creeping around gardens and garages. Look closely at a true spider, and you'll see a body divided into 2 sections, the cephalothorax and abdomen. A harvestman's body is one single piece. Look at their faces. A standard spider has 8 eyes. A harvestman only has 2. A harvestman also entirely lacks venom glands. When threatened by a predator, it secretes a foul-smelling chemical as a topical defense. It might be nasty enough to deter a small insect, but it is never injected. You cannot be the most venomous creature on Earth if you have 0 venom to begin with. Neither the cranefly nor the harvestman possesses the biological tools to inflict a deadly bite. That leaves the third animal on the list, the cellar spider. The pale, wispy creature you find tucked into the corners of your basement is the only actual spider in the group. True to its taxonomy, the cellar spider really does have venom glands, and it really does have fangs to deliver it. This brings us to the short fang part of the legend. Entomologist Rick Vedder measured these fangs and compared them directly to those of a brown recluse, a spider that can easily bite humans. The cellar spider's fangs are roughly the exact same size. Despite having the proper equipment, there is no medical record of a cellar spider causing a toxic reaction. A 2004 laboratory test compared their venom directly against black widow venom. The black widow data peaks aggressively, while the cellar spider's toxicity registers as completely negligible. We even have empirical data from direct human testing. When a scientist intentionally let a cellar spider bite in to record the effects, the result was nothing more than a mild skin irritation that vanished in a day or 2. Even the one anatomically correct spider in this entire lineup entirely fails a basic toxicity test. The lethal threat is non-existent. If there is absolutely no empirical data to back this up, why does this specific myth refuse to die? The prevailing theory among entomologists is simple. Somebody made an offhand comment decades ago, and nobody bothered to fact-check it because it made for a genuinely fun story. Over time, public consciousness took the traits of 3 separate, completely mundane animals and mentally mashed them together to invent a single terrifying imaginary apex predator. The biological reality remains untouched by the rumors. These real creatures either completely lack venom, lack mouths to bite with, or possess bites so weak they go entirely unnoticed. The daddy longlegs legend is a triumph of human storytelling over biological taxonomy, and understanding that finally clears the reputations of 3 perfectly harmless animals.